when the market wasn't yet ready to embrace AI.
Human.
Wow.
That has made it a lot easier to so-called, start businesses. The new startups will think about what problem are we trying to solve. Is first started, we don't know who to sell to. We wonder, are you sure it will work? Question ourselves, question our own existence. What value do we give to our customers that they should buy from us? Yeah, I mean, there's no magic wand to solve all the problems. Technology is just a tool. It may not solve everything because sometimes it's not a technology problem, it's a process problem. Do we still have a competitive advantage? We can deploy the correct tool for the correct use. Human-friendly technology, we are trying to make the world a better place, yeah? You can't just AI everything. AI is always changing.
And this new book was we co-authored with my AI buddy.
What's the name of your buddy? Do you give him a name?
But the name of the buddy? Buddy lo? Hi everyone, welcome to Asia Business Owner Podcast, BOSS for short. With the changing economy, especially after pandemic, do you ever wonder why business lifespan is getting shorter? Do you ever wonder what causes it? Are you one of the business owners who are in the midst trying to figure a way out? Or are you intending to start your own business venture believing that everything will work out but somehow you feel something is missing? Or do you want to start a business however, you do not know what to go for? If you have all these questions on the list that I mentioned earlier, or many more that I have not mentioned, then we are here to fill the gap.
Hi, this is Joe.
Hi, this is Ben. Okay, well, we're talking about AI for the past few years. Just imagine that when you first started your journey in AI, probably people may not want to explore anything about it. So being pioneer of AI industry service is never easy. So right now, when it become a buzzword today, many people actually rush into this industry, and probably you want to know how the success of this pioneer achieved. Today, we are very, very honored to have Ada from Gleematic to share with us the journey a decade ago and right now what she have achieved. Hi, Ada. Good morning to you. Would like to share a little bit more about yourself first?
Hi, good morning. My name is Ada. So I would say I'm an accidental entrepreneur. Yeah. So actually started out, doing my own consultancy, and I was doing some, it's like a marketing communications consultancy. I was doing PR for tech companies and tech services. And then after that, it's like I wanted to get into something that we could productize. So I had a partner who said, hey, let's run a software company together. So that's how I got into Gleematic. So yes, our initial vision, it's like because my partner, he has actually been running, it's like a ERP and enterprise solutions softwares. So, and then at that point of time when we started out, it's like we realized that about 10 years ago, we realized that there are still a lot of like manual handoffs and then a lot of human, so doing data entry into different systems because they were having, ERP systems, they have cloud systems, etc. And we came up with the concept. We thought of this concept that how nice it would be if like, we could link everything up. At that time, it was called robotic process automation. So we got onto the bandwagon and realized, hey, we could use AI to enhance the productivity even further, to combine that and be able to do a wider range of tasks that is beyond the rules-based automation. So our initial, it's like basically our initial vision is to be able to help office workers to, with human-friendly technology, because a lot of times automation has been very technical and only confined to the benefits or to the hands of the few who are able to do coding. So that's where, we thought we're going to have something that is able to be friendly to the non-coders as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Where I was introducing about Gleematic 10 years ago, and we also realized that a decade while pioneering AI services long before it became a mainstream. So what was the original vision and what convinced you that AI would eventually transform businesses?
Yeah. So the original vision has, and it still stands today, is that we want to give digital colleagues to help the hardworking office folks so that they can go home on time, rather than having to, it's like a stay back in the office to complete, it's like a large volumes of repetitive tasks like checking data and making sure that things are fine, etc. So I think that still stands, and it's like we've been doing AI since it became more popular or more mainstream. In fact, the AI has been around for a long time. The concept of AI or thinking machines has been around since the 50s. But of course, during the past few years, then it became more mainstream. So it's like we are constantly adapting to the new environment, and then of course incorporating new technologies into our product as well. But our vision still stays the same, that we want to have and empower non-programmers, non-coders to have digital colleagues to help them along the way.
Hey, I know I got this question that you mentioned it earlier on when you were explaining this, that when the first start of AI services itself, likewise, I have a lot of university students that come to me and ask the same question, where, do you think that my innovative service will have the demand to the market? Because it's very new, right? So same thing like why 10 years back when you're introducing AI, it was also very, very new technology. So what was the acceptance like in the first place a decade ago?
Skeptical, yeah. So they always wonder, hey, are you sure it will work? How does it do? Hey, my work is very complicated, quote unquote. Will the AI know how to do? So we told them that, well, the thing is that AI can't solve everything. So, but we need to identify where are the, it's like I would say areas that I would say AI or automation is strong in, where are the areas that it's like not so good in, because sometimes we may so-called like overhype or overestimate what the AI can do lah. So in general, we have to see if there is data, there's enough data, there are enough it's like information, there are enough I would say like standardized workflows and like clear it's like decision points. I think the AI and automation can do it's like pretty well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
essentially, you're using RPA first, and then after that, integration with AI
That
to
was the
help in
initial
the
one. Yes, yeah,
right.
that was the initial. The AI is actually on top of it, and we still require RPA for, like, for example, handling the legacy systems, because I think to do end-to-end automation, it involves many, many technologies. So I think we are like the business architects or the renovation contractors, if you we want to have a parallel, whereby we need to see what is how what do you envision your business to achieve. Let's say, for example, in the parallel where we are doing renovation, I want to achieve the this room to be like have a romantic feel, for example. Then we will recommend different kinds of materials, different kinds of designs for the users to choose from. So likewise, in the realm of the IT and AI automation, we will also see that what business objectives do you want to achieve? Is it that you want to achieve things to have a faster processing of documents, or do you want to increase customer satisfaction? Do you want to, let's say, for example, gain some insights into what has been happening and predict, etc.? Then we'll see what are the tools that's required to go into solve that problem. We are like doctors also, yeah. So I mean, that's another parallel. We see what is the so-called ailments, and then we'll see what correct medicine that we can put in. So that
essentially, for Gleematics, do you consider yourself as an IT company, a software company, or AI company?
ISV, I would say, independent software vendor. Okay, so yes, we are not just services, but without services, we cannot implement correctly. So we do have our own product, our own platform called Gleematic. We also, for that, because it's a platform ecosystem, I would call it like a toolbox that you can actually, we also incorporate some of the, it's like an external AI as well to complement that, what we have, so that we can deploy the correct tool for the correct use cases. So we will diagnose the business, it's like challenges first. We will also be able to see that, hey, what are you trying to do? Are you handling data from documents? Is it something that you have like an email text, or is it images? What do you want to do, and what do you want to achieve? Then from there we will say that we will use Gleematic platform to design a workflow that is suitable for the use. We don't just anyhow throw the AI or everything. Yeah, because sometimes it may not be suitable.
Ada, I mean, as a chief growth officer, I'm always very curious about how the growth plan of any company that will be looking towards for. Do you all plan in the first place like you're going to serve all customers, or strategically you have a certain group of customers that you would like to focus in the first place when you first started?
Okay, when we first started, we don't know who to sell to be frank. Yeah. Yeah, that's the honest answer when we like really first started out. So we just know that it could help people with it's like a repetitive task. So we try to see where is the interestingly our first batch of customers were banks and financial institutions. So we
That's tough
serviced.
to get in, actually.
Yeah, we were surprised. Hey, we are a newbie. In fact, especially for a newbie, right? Our first customer was a bank. And it's like, wow. Um,
That's
yeah.
a nice win.
Yeah, so that tied us through. And in fact, we took part in the Singapore FinTech Festival. And we did gain some traction with insurance companies as well. Yeah, so that was the initial target. But as time moved on, as it's like the banks, they also build their own teams in AI and automation and all that. So they built in-house capabilities. So we pivoted more to it's like a support companies that do not have budgets or the capacity to build their in-house teams, mainly in the logistics and the manufacturing sector as well. So did we go out purposely to chase banks? Well, initially we don't know who will buy our product, so we tried taking part in multiple trade shows like Manufacturing Expo, FinTech Festival. We took part in like generic shows like it's like a SME, ICC, etc. And then we found where are people it's like more open to adopting such technologies.
Interesting. So it's like, casting the net at different places and see whatever you can get in the first place. Then only where you know that, okay, this particular area where you are able to get the most fish, that is where you start to focus at that particular segment. Am I right to say that?
Yes, that was for the growth journey, like initial growth journey. Now that we have known the market a little bit better. Anyway, but the thing is that it's dynamic. You see, sometimes you might think that this sector it's your target sector. Then after that, we may have to, it's like a pivot along the way if this sector it's not so receptive anymore, or that new technologies are coming in to solve specifically for that particular sector, etc. And do we still have a competitive advantage, etc. So it's a I would say it's an ongoing exercise where we always have to like question ourselves, question our own existence. What value do we give to our customers that they should buy from us? That's where we will also like either through adjusting our product offering or our service offering to adjust to the changing demands. So that's how we managed to survive the 10 years. Otherwise, if we stick to, it's like something, one particular, industry, then it wouldn't have survived so long. Yeah.
So
Okay, that's very
your product itself, will it help in the top line or will it help in the bottom line? It's like specifically what clients can expect from using your software.
Yeah, great question. So the thing is that it depends on how you structure the workflows. Yes, it can help with the top line in terms of revenue generating. If you apply it to process in customer acquisition, in terms of like trying to upsell and then trying to, let's say, like a fulfill orders more quickly. Yeah. But it can also help in the background or the bottom line in the sense that you will try to reduce expenses, like by saying that you don't need so much manpower to do the accounting for the procurement processes and some of the back office or the more supporting activities as well. So yeah, it is actually quite versatile. You can deploy it for, it's like your own business requirements, and it can be customized. Yeah.
okay. Now, this question probably I want to ask behalf on all the startup. When you first started this company, and how do you keep the team motivated and maintain momentum when the market wasn't yet ready to embrace AI?
Yeah, I know it can be quite depressing, right? Say you people decline you, don't take your calls, and then you're getting very, very skeptical, etc. Yeah, it's not easy. So what we try to do is that we try to it's like tell the colleagues and our teams that hey, we are trying to make the world a better place. Yeah. Okay. So that's where we try to say that hey, every day that we talk to another person is getting more motivated to try new ways of doing things, and that is something that we at least see an idea, like, even if they don't buy from us. Yeah.
Now, many companies play by the same rules until someone breaks them. What rules did Gleematic challenge or break early on that gave you an edge?
Okay. Yes, this is something that is, I would think, that's a great question because well-meaning friends, they say that, it's like, why do you want to start from scratch? Why don't you just resell a well-known brand? It's like be a reseller lah, and be a integrator, or system integrator, as we call it in our industry, be a SI. You can get immediate projects. You deploy the big brands. I don't want to mention which one, but there are many automation brands out there. You just be one of their, the resellers. You can go and attend all the, their trade shows, exhibitions, and talks and all that. And the brands self by self. Then we say, okay, if we did that, then we would not have built IP or intellectual property for ourselves. And the thing is that when there is the valuation of the company, it's in question, then it's like we still believe that a company with our own brand, our own IP, our own some proprietary technology will still have an edge over just being a reseller. We have to, I mean, being a business owner, we have to think, of course, it's like we also want to make money and feed our colleagues, right? Pay salary, but we also want to maintain that against, it's like taking some risk in terms of building our own brand. So the brand itself will have value. Gleematic brand will have some value rather than just being a service provider. Yeah, that's what what we believe.
It seems like you already have your exit plan in place.
So the thing is that the IP has value. You see, the thing is we can have a trademark that it's like a trademark itself will have value, and also our know-how will have a value. Our customers, our own customers will have a value. Our methodology will have value. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like we are just another plain vanilla implementation partner of ABC brand. Yeah, which we don't want to go into that.
So it sounds like you actually have a long-term vision rather than a short-term plan when you first started Gleematic.
Yeah, of course, we have to manage short term, mid term, and long term. The long term is to be able to build a brand and it's like have our own IP. The short term is to make money. So at the beginning, we try to see what is required, and then it's like we try to see what we can do. The smaller projects, we took on some smaller projects as well.
So what do you think about these few years? There are many startup companies that jump into the trend of AI, which from my point of view is that they are probably already the trend, not really vision in the long term. What do you have to say about that?
It's well, on one side, I'm very encouraged to see a lot of people, it's like getting into entrepreneurship because it makes it a lot easier. AI has made it a lot easier to so-called, it's like start businesses and, even, it's like how to say, create their own products using AI very quickly. On the other hand, I think, it's like the thing is that do they have enough depth to understand business requirements of the users? Because technology is just a tool, it may not solve everything. And you need to know where to put the technology to solve what kind of problems. We need to know what exactly will work, because sometimes it's not a technology problem, it's a process problem, it's a people's problem, it's a culture problem. It's like you can't just AI everything. So I think this is what I would advise the new startups to think about. What problem are we trying to solve? Is yours just something that is so-called good to have, or do you really understand what your users are trying to, it's like achieve? I think there's a lot of hype about companies claiming to be AI, but they are just rappers, as in a sense that rappers in the sense that they do something and it could just be just automation, it's like a rule-based automation, or sometimes we call it fuzzy logic. It's not really AI lah. So I think yeah, we need to be mindful of this kind of over-promising and over-hype.
I think you
So
nailed
do
a
you?
very good point. So
Yeah.
entrepreneurship is really about solving real world problems, right? Yeah. But a lot of people, I think, maybe a lot of business owners, right? They actually start the business because they want to make money. Yeah. But by the spirit of entrepreneurship, it's really about solving problems.
Yeah. Totally agree. But upon saying, do you see that the bubble forming for AI industry these days?
In these few years, yes, again, just like I'm reminded of the .com days, it's like in the 90s, where wow, everyone who's like investors are pouring money into companies making websites, There's a lot of hype. Yeah, so I think there will be some kind of adjustments. Markets always adjust themselves anyway, and after the dust settles, then they will know what kind of companies will have adding real and true value to the customers now, and what is the hype out there. But I think right now we are still in a flux. I would think, people are still experimenting, trying out. Just like I think you guys are probably around my age also. You would have seen the in the 90s, whereby it also hype about websites.
Okay, now many business owners believe AI will solve their business problem. In your experience, what problem can AI genuinely solve, and what challenges can only be solved through leadership, culture, or strategy?
AI is just a tool. So the thing is that we need to know where the tool fits into. And AI is very good at solving problems that involve huge amounts of data and it's like kind of like a lot of information. So for humans, right, we find it very difficult to, it's like pour through like large chunks of numbers or large chunks of words and data. So that's where the AI will be good at. Like, for example, handling, it's like, say, for example, if you're processing, let's say, it's like incoming orders that has got many SKUs, it's like, wow, like we have clients in the manufacturing companies, they got so many SKUs, like the order form is maybe 10 pages, 20 pages. That is very time consuming for humans. But you throw it to the AI, it can do very fast. Yeah. So this kind of processes are good for AI and automation. However, like you mentioned, it's like earlier on, it's like there are still a lot of things about businesses that still need humans to be going in. So the thing is that to improve the business, it might not be the technology itself, but it's about changing a culture. Is there a culture of helping each other? Or is it a process? Like, for example, are there processes that are unnecessary? There are some steps that are unnecessary. We need to be streamlined. Is there, it's like correct checks and orders at the correct points? Is there enough governance in that process that can help to improve, it's like the business itself? Yeah, and of course, the humans are the only ones who can encourage their fellow colleagues, only the to be able to, let's say, hey, let's go and do this together. The AI can never do that. Yeah. So we
So
still
speaking about culture,
manage.
right?
Yes.
What culture are you building in Gleematics?
Okay, so what we try to do is that the culture that we have is an open culture of continuous learning and also helping each other. So the thing is that we believe that innovation. Okay, so try to look for new ways to do things, and integrity, very, very important. Integrity, doing the right things even when nobody is looking. Like, for example, there are many temptations in doing business, to be very blunt. Okay, you can say that, hey, why don't you do this, and then that you can get some kickbacks. It's like, okay, that is a little bit gray, and we may want to explore other ways. Then we will try to counter propose, hey, dear potential customer, why don't we do it in a more it's like a clear cut manner, yeah. And then also continuous learning. We believe that nobody should stay stagnant, and be able to we should be able to improve ourselves, because the AI is also improving itself every day. So why not us as well? So
Yeah,
continuous
improving very
learning.
fast.
Very, very fast. Yeah. So very, very fast. And the other one is to be open, yeah. Because I mean, it's like to be open in the sense that I believe that if you have issues, you face problems, share it openly, no personal attacks. Please don't go and like it's like come and tell me stories of like this person is no good. He's blah blah blah. And then okay, we bring everybody together and say what is the issue, Then you realize that actually let's say party A says that the party B is not helpful, for example. Then it's like actually it's because the party B didn't understand what party A wanted, or that he didn't have the correct skills. He's not the correct person to be helping. Then of course we open up and discuss, it's like then we know that, oh, you are asking the wrong person who doesn't have the skills or the things that you want. So that's where we believe that we should have open communications lah. So yeah, and we make our colleagues kind of like have stand-up meetings daily, so that we keep things very open. Okay, I plan to do this, and then I need help with that this in these areas, and who can help me? Then we say that, oh, okay, maybe we can ask it's like a party D or party F, for example. Yeah, these are the ways that we work lah. We want to have an open
Yeah.
communication.
Agree.
Yes.
There's always a saying about this, like whenever you have three people in a group, you either have miscommunication, or you will have politic.
Yeah, correct.
This is something that can't be avoided. And me and Joe was discussing about the communication in between the new age as compared to the past. And many business owners always share this about communication barrier in between the millennium, the alpha that incoming for, to join the workforce. So do you have such challenges with the millennium or even alpha?
Okay, I mean, the thing is, yes, it's not easy. I mean, there's no magic wand to solve all the problems. I think the important thing is to give them meaning to their work, and to be able to help them to see that how their work is impacting the users. Like for example, for people in the R&D department, they need to see that their functions that they build is actually useful and solving problems. Yeah, for our colleagues in the project implementation department, they need to know that using the technology that our R&D colleagues have built, they make it work for the end users workflow, so that they see that it's actually being so-called commercialized or implemented in the real world. So they need to see how their work impacts the society at large, in a sense that meaning is more important to them, I would think. Yeah.
So I think the younger generation, right, is like they basically skip the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So they are going straight into self-actualization.
Yeah.
So I think
They want
you
meaning,
make
yeah.
you make a very good point, is that you need to give them meaning. Yeah. So because motivation 4Ms, right? People either one for money, one for membership. That means it's like comradeship, mastery. But I think the most ultimate one is meaning. If you can give meaning to someone, I think they will die for you. Maybe.
Hopefully, like it's a continuous process, because relationships are dynamic, right? Yeah. I mean, people's feelings change along the way, or their priorities change along the way. We can understand that. But yeah, one thing is that if the person cannot fit into our culture of being too open, to be frank, some people don't like it, that why must I report to you every day? We have something called a Kanban chart. It means that it comes from the Japanese word Kanban, which is like Kanban in Chinese. So basically, it's like a task board a list of things that you plan to do. They say, wow, this, they might think that, why this company so-called micromanaging. We just want to have an open culture where we say, we openly tell each other what we are planning to do and how we can collaborate with each other. But some people don't like it. Then it's okay. I mean, they have their preferences. Yeah, we don't have to, it's like be everything to everyone. Yeah.
There are these observations that I realized that a lot of company currently are having some miscommunication or management issue with the new millennium and so on. Mainly because they found that this middle managerial group are probably the one that are having getting the message translate over. And with the help of AI, we also realized that a lot of media management group have been more or less removed. So instead of multiple layer, it only left the most minimum, like the top and the basic. I'm not so sure whether you realize that some company actually are very, very basic formation only. So the boss and the team, that's it.
Okay, it sounds like our kind of company. So yeah, we do have team leads, and we do have our own team members, and even it's like they have direct access to us. Even the lowest level of colleagues can have direct access to the CEO, to my business partner as well. So the thing is, it's because I guess businesses also have the, it's like a obligation to make money and make things more streamlined, right? I guess we have to I would say regardless of age, right? We need to learn how to adapt and make sure that as an individual you are still of value to the company. Then I think something that's it's like makes you indispensable. Yeah. Because if you're just a paper pusher and trying to make things more complicated, then there's not much value.
Right. Okay. So I was doing some sharing a few weeks ago. Then we were talking about the different kind of management behavior. Back in before 1980s, I think those are very top-down kind of things. So you only have one person who say and giving commands, so everybody follow. And 1990s onward, it's more towards like a delegation. So with a limited authority that given to the manager or even whatever the account member to add on. But these days, things change. It's more like a accountability managerial kind of skill set. So I give you the direction. Whatever you want to do, you need to do, okay, to fulfill it. As long as you do not work out of the managerial guideline, everything is okay. So which means that that's the minimum managerial kind of control over the team. So correct me if I'm wrong, probably your side is also work towards the more or less like accountability managerial skill set that you're actually managing the team.
Yes,
The
correct.
double
Yeah.
E, enable and empower, I guess.
We try to do that. Yeah, we set goals and then say this is the one what we aim to achieve, and let us know what help you need, what tools you need, and we will try to empower them to be able to do their job. Yeah, and give them autonomy. If everything come back to us for every step, then also that is also doesn't give much meaning to their job.
Is there any disadvantage of this kind of empowering management?
Any disadvantage? Yeah lah. If people who are not comfortable with self-learning, they will find it to be very challenging. Yeah, because they need to do a lot of self-learning and be open and humble enough to ask people for help and guidance to see where to be going. Yeah, rather than, oh, I give you, all these steps, you just have to follow the steps. Then yeah, that is not suitable for our culture, I would think.
Okay, let's go back to the topic of AI again. So looking ahead, which current rules in AI do you think are ready to be rewritten?
So the thing is that one of the things that I think is changing from human in the loop to human in charge. Because right now, people say that we need to have a human in the loop, which seems having a human in the loop will magically make AI safe. I think if human is in the loop, but this human, it's often rushed or under-trained, or he's just a button pusher. Last time it's paper pusher, now it's a button pusher, just to blindly approve, then I think that's also not very useful. So we must have the rule as being human in charge, means that they put in a person who is genuinely empowered or have the knowledge and the skills enough to know what are the implications of pushing that approve button on that particular automation. And then it's like not just being a rubber stamper. That's one thing. Yeah. I think the other thing is that we are saying that use AI for productivity. Yeah, that's one rule that I think I see this changing, that towards having AI for humanity instead. Yeah, that there are already movements towards truly, it's like achieving using AI for some of the altruistic things. I mean, it may sound altruistic, but I think we need to change to having it's like have a mindset of AI for humanity, that it can be used to uplift everyone and not make just the people who are more able or have the access to technology become richer, and leave the others behind. Yeah. And
Okay.
and some people say, we need to so-called regulate AI models, but I think humans are humans. Yeah. We even whatever models they have, they might we need to monitor what is being used. So rather than just regulating the model, we also need to regulate the use. Let's say, for example, it's like because you can use the AI to write emails, but it can also use the AI to write malware. So say for example, or trick the some it's like the like algorithm to get a loan, etc. It's like for malicious purposes. So we need to say regulate what is the use case that is allowed. That should be also be regulated.
But do you foresee like the governments around the world, they will start like regulating AI a little bit more just to slow things down a bit, because things are happening very fast right now. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, yes, I would say there would be some kind, because I think they are still trying to play catch up. So the thing is that they're trying to see, it's like what is it that what are the guardrails that need to be placed, it's like to actually so-called safeguard people lah. Yeah, I think more things will come. I think our local government is also looking into that how do we protect ourselves while we try to it's like also learn new things. Yeah. At the international level, there was a it's like a World AI conference in China. I think it's in Shanghai, if I'm not wrong. They are also trying to get the interest from even the United Nations to come and see that, hey, with this evolving landscape, because UN is it's like will be concerned about how we can achieve equality and empower everyone, right? So we try to see how do we use AI to it's like improve or speed up the achievement of equality, and at the same time don't it's like don't let AI become the factor that widens it's like income gaps or societal issues that. Yeah.
So do you think that the AI actually taught you anything about leader?
AI is always changing. That's something that because to be in our industry, it's actually I would say very high cognitive load. Yeah. So
Very
that
fast moving as well.
yeah, very fast moving as well. And what is taught me as a leader is that I need to be nimble and adaptable, and to it's like adapt to the changing technologies, and also stay humble. Like I don't know enough. I have to admit, I'm not, even though I am trying to it's like steer this ship or run this company. Maybe my engineers know the newest, coolest AI tools out there that I need to learn from them as well too. So stay humble, always be willing to learn, from everybody. Yeah, it's a very humbling experience.
Yeah, totally agree. And I was mentioning this to many bosses is that they are worrying that okay, maybe one day, actually not worrying I would say that they will be looking into like one day AI can become the leader of the company so that the all machine they don't have to worry about employing the leaders whoever are good by looking at the character and so on, because AI are so predictable. So you know that okay, wow, okay, they let them lead and probably they can produce better result than human. Do you agree on that? One day that the AI can become a leader.
Apocalypse end of the world. I don't think AI will make a good leader. Firstly, the very, human quality of being able to be inspirational and motivating others. It's not something that AI has. Do you get motivated by AI prompting you to say that, hey, Ben, you are a great person? Or, it's like it's like telling Joe that, hey, Joe, you have done a good job. Do you feel motivated? Versus a human, a real colleague or a real boss who will celebrate with you. Wow, let's go for a drink together, man. You hit your sales target. Let's go and keep doing this. Yeah. So that's something that only humans can do. I don't think any AI can replicate that kind of, it's like a ability to inspire or empathize with their fellow humans. Yeah. The other thing is, yes, AI can give you answers. You ask, but the thing is, it's the humans that need to think of what kind of questions. Like I think, it's like something that we need to protect is that don't surrender your ability to think critically to the AI. Okay, because we need to practice our humans faculties, our own, intelligence that is able to ask the right kind of questions. Because to solve problems, we need to know to get the answers to solve problems. We need to know the right questions first. We need to know what are the it's like formulating the right questions, identifying blind spots, challenging the assumptions, etc. Because I think a lot of times AI, yes, it can give you answers, but it's based on its, I would say, existing knowledge, which you don't know what it's based on. Are you feeding it the right knowledge, the right context, or not? All this contextual understanding is something that only I would think it requires a human's judgment and human's curiosity. It's like when, it's like just look at our conversation, Ben. I mean, as we go along, then you think of new questions to ask, something to probe further. You're curious about, hey, what are the assumptions behind some of the things I said, etc. That's a very human thing. It's like the AI will be very methodical in like, oh, okay, I got your answer, and let's move on, blah blah blah, and that's not interesting at all, right?
I
Yeah,
totally
and
resonate that
yeah.
what you had said just now, and subtract a little bit. I was saying that I was writing this new book, and this new book was we co-author with my AI buddy. I call it buddy anyway.
Yeah.
So we
What's
was
the name
like,
of your buddy? Did you give him a name?
but the name of the buddy lor.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were doing some brain crashing session every day, almost with my this AI buddy. And one thing I must say that they are very positive. They are very positive. Okay. And
Maybe overly positive.
Yeah, people
yes.
pleasers. They want to please you. Make
Yes.
you
But sometimes I can be very sarcastic with them. Lah. And I realized that when times goes by, when I was keep feeding them with the information and trying to trick them in a way to know finally the objective of the discussion is not this, it's not A, it's actually B kind of things. Well, they are not resisting in terms of like, oh, you trick me into this and that. They are still very positive by the end of the day. But as time goes by, I realize that they get smarter and smarter. Yeah, they get smarter and smarter. And this book is more like a management kind of things where I realize that whatever they say, actually, I'm very, very human these days. Oh my goodness. I don't know that have I trained them to become something more smarter than me. Uh, I think I will start to regret, but nevertheless, I think it's still a very, very good wisdom exchange with AI. And it did help you to see, for another point of view where, or another angle that probably we ourselves will never look into. Yeah, I think that's one advantage of AI. Where I think sometimes the human have this bad. What I was trying to say is that I think AI is good in a way where it really teach human to improve. But somehow or rather, why is it that people found that these days AI is more or less to many is like a threat, to their work. I have shared this numerous times with many business owner is that imagine that last time when we are walking on foot, then later on we are riding on a horse, then we have automobile, train, and so on, and it took centuries before everything had been fulfilled. But however, when new technology like AI actually step in, the whole transition narrowed. It become instead of a century, it become like within like a decade, the whole thing changed. Whereas the transformation on human mentality, our skill set, our adaptability isn't able to transform or transit immediately. I think that's the problem right now that I think many people are facing. So what do you think, Ada?
Yeah, change is too fast, in our parents' generation, it's like a changing from like a steam engine, like those it's like a trains to becoming a diesel train. It took a long time and moving to the electric trains. Yeah. Now we have like in terms of the AI, things are changing so fast that I worry for the next generation, like it's like a it's very stress. It can be very stressful to keep adapting to new things. And then that's why we have some of the societal issues surfacing that some youth, they are also getting very overwhelmed. And in some countries that there's this, there are new trends coming up like China, they call it 躺平, yeah. Some people have said that, there is not much. I can't find a job because of AI and because of competition, etc. And then it's like I think there is also it's like there's also another term called hikikomori. It's a Japanese term, describing a form of social withdrawal, whereby it's like a youth feels. I mean, it's typically experienced by youth according to some of the new trends that's coming out. Yeah, I think it's where they find that their future looks bleak because things are changing so fast that they are afraid they won't be able to again get a job or be able to earn enough money, and then they withdraw. So yeah, I also think that we will need to have these are some of the challenges, and I would say it's like even mental issues coming up that we need to deal with, and we need to see how we can move together and be able to support one another in it's like moving through this it's like a AI enabled era lah. Yeah. Otherwise it's like there will be, I would say, issues that people might feel very discouraged, and those not everybody is so-called it's like be able to catch up anymore, because yeah, we need to help each other.
Totally agree. Now, before we come to the end of the show, last question that I'd like to ask you, Ella. Now, if you could leave one guiding principle for the next generation of business leader, what should it be?
Stay human.
Wow. Nice and
It's
sweet.
simple one, yeah, because I think stay in touch with your colleagues, your staff, your friends, your family, because ultimately, it's like these are the people who will help you to get your work done. It's like they will support you through tough times, and celebrate with you in the good times, regardless of what the technology is. I think every business is made up of people.
Yep.
Even if they are using a lot of technology already, without humans, we won't be able to understand the so-called customers' behavior and or be able to so-called negotiate with suppliers, etc. So we still need human skills. So let's all stay human.
That's very good
Thank you very
advice.
much.
Very good advice.
We were very happy to have you here today, Ada. Okay, so before we end the podcast, thank you very much, everyone, for coming on to the podcast. But at the same time, we'd like to encourage our audience to subscribe to our podcast. Yes, and so that we can continue to have more business owners to share their wisdom, experience, and knowledge. Till
One
then,
more quick question for Ada. It's
yes,
like, where can people find you?
yes.
Look me up on LinkedIn, Ada Lim, Gleematic. You search for Ada Lim at Gleematic. Yeah, they usually able to find me there. Yeah.
Okay, we'll
Okay,
do.
great.
We will leave the information, but at the end of the show, so that people can link up with you.
Thank you
Okay,
very
so
much.
to the end. Thank you very much for your time
Right,
today,
thanks,
Ada.
Ada.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.